Yes, welcome back. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We've talked a lot, but we have with us two gentlemen who have been frolicking. They have been playing with each other. They've been lecturing, they've been smiling at each other. But when it comes to debate, all of that can change. But we hope it doesn't change. We have with us George Lobbo. George Lobbo comes from the Unity Party, a staunch member. George, welcome to the OK Conversation.
Thank you, Julius. It's good to be back here once again.
Okay. We also have with us Jefferson Chesson, a staunch member of the CDC, recently passed governing party, one of the assistant ministers there. As a matter of fact, welcome.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you. And it's good being back here again today.
Okay. How is life? How's everything going?
Well, life is so good right now, especially our government. I feel more relaxed, less tension.
But that's not so good like it used to be when you were assistant minister.
No, it's still good, Julius. It's still very good.
But now as compared,
we can't complain. But for the fact that the pressure, the request, the attention that was drawn to you as it has reduced a lot, and so
it can certainly reduce.
Yeah,
and
maybe
so
I'm enjoying that at the moment.
But Lobbo is not minister yet, so he may not be feeling it that much.
Well, guess what though? He's right. There's no tension that much. People take 7 hours from here now to Grand Gillette to Lofa. And so we've taken the weight off of them, and there are a lot of places now that were dark. We have lights there, so obviously my brother is okay. So we'll fix it. We'll make it easier. Yeah, but he's right though. Let us wait. So I know how it can be when you're government official, man. The anticipation from the public like that, and you know everybody. I don't know what has happened. It's tough, Judas.
Okay, good. Now, so these are the rules. When we ask a question, we will allot you time. I have the stopwatch here. We place it right here for all to see, so that you go within your time. No interruption of the other when they are speaking. If you have issues with what someone says, there will be a time for the rebuttals and all of that. When we start, also know that there are fact checkers who usually follow our shows. So if I'm not able to in real time fact check anything that you say, it is possible later on the fact checkers might do that. It is also important to note that when we get ready to take calls for you in the public, I only allow, usually, as you know, government officials, party officials on my personal lines. On my personal lines, I will not take more than 4 officials of either the government side or the Unity Party and the opposition side, the CDC and opposition in total. I will not take 4 calls from, not more than 4 calls from each side. So you have up to 4 calls. Each side has up to 4 calls on my personal line. So when you call on my phone, when you party official, you government official, by the time your side, your phone, your call, if you don't take anybody else on there, you will go for it on the 2 main lines that are here. And when I'm taking that call, I will let the public know that that's on my personal line this person is coming from. We try to be as fair as possible. No one can be issue on their friend here. So for the international line, I cannot. Only international people will be allowed. On the 2 local lines, I can say who will call on the local lines because we don't know who is calling, so everybody else can fight there. Is that fair enough?
I think it is fair. It is fair.
Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Okay, good. Now, we will begin with Mr. Lobbo for introduction, just laying of the groundwork. Even though we know you to be George Lobbo, but it's important to say something. Each of you have 1 minute to do that.
So, good evening to the listening audience, my fellow librarians. My name is George Lobbo, like he stated, member of the Unity Party, background in business with interest in public service and public policy, Arizona State University. But I've had some other work experience, mostly in the financial sector, like the other day when Julius worked for Bank of America, Wells Fargo Bank, the Federal Savings Bank, and Midfirst Bank, and other financial institutions in the United States. So it's always been here, especially being involved with national politics, but it's good to sit across the just say Sama man here who we always together and at least to have this national conversation. I look forward to the discussion, especially as it relates to national issue, given the fact that now we have the mentor of power and what we are doing to improve the people's life. Those are the conversations I love to have.
Okay, thanks so kindly, Lobbo. He worked within time, so we have to reset it for. Yeah, but you can just talk. Leave it. You got 1 minute to introduce yourself. It starts now.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Thank you, Julius. Like Julius said, I'm Jefferson Chesson, former Assistant Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Public Works. Previously worked with the Ministry of Public Works as consultant for the SES. The SES was a program designed to recruit Liberian professionals that were working in the diaspora to come back and contribute to our civil service. More than that, I work with the UNDP, I work with the World Bank, the European Union, and as procurement specialist. Currently, I'm a graduate dean of the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, and have a master in public procurement, bachelor's in accounting and economics, and basically we've been involved with our politics, ensuring that public service deliver for the people. And we are here today to ensure that the Unity Party government is brought to book with their bad governance.
Okay, your time is out. Thanks so kindly. That's how we will do it here. So, both of you like exercising, right?
Yes, I work on a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just
and George is a celebrity waking up.
I'm just the professional.
Look at that.
Okay.
Doing it, so.
Okay, that's
all my life
I've
been working out. But George is.
But both of you look handsome too. I like.
My man, I beg you, Judas. This is not get connected here today.
And both of you are married, right?
Yes.
Very married.
Yeah.
That you're married, happily married.
Okay, good. Okay, the first question is to you, George Lobbo. We are kicking off with you. President Boakai recently visited the U.S. on invitation of U.S. President Donald Trump. Was his trip successful? We gave you 4 minutes to deal with that. Your 4 minutes start now.
All right, so Judas, thank you for that question. I strongly believe that as a member of the Unity Party and that of people within our inner circle of the government, we strongly believe that the trip was successful. While it is true that we may not have all the details as it relates to what was being discussed, and some of us have not been privileged to the communication that came along with the invitation. But I mean, overall, to have the president at the overall office, especially in the White House, with the U.S. President Donald J. Trump, where our president was able to make the case for Liberia as it relates to investment. So we believe that indeed this trip was successful, because during the interaction which was visible to the public, we saw our president in that 2 or 3 minutes exchange with the U.S. president. President Boakai highlighted Liberia's long existing relationship with the United States. He used the occasion as well to also speak to America as it relates to what we have to offer to the world in terms of natural resources. He used that time to encourage America, where he also requested that the U.S. government conduct a survey so that we can know exactly what we have. That for us, even though I know we have the Chinese trying to help us do it, but it's always good to seek second opinion. And the president also used that occasion once again to position Liberia on the world station. So for some of us, we felt that given the amount of investment we need in this country to be able to transform this society, every single time President Boakai takes center stage, especially on the international global stage of that magnitude in the White House, sitting with the U.S. president, we felt that the president made a compelling case for Liberia. Not only that, the president also used the occasion to inform the world that indeed Liberia is a stable environment when he referenced the 3 different successive democratic transition. He talked about regional peace. And so we believe that the man in which we elected now has what it takes, has the capability, and he was well measured as he made a case for Liberia. We understand that some of the other details will be brought for because most of the benefit of some of these high-level summits usually are in the follow-up meetings. We have been told that the Minister of Finance sometimes either this week will be briefing the press as it relates to some of the financial details in other areas. But overall, we strongly believe that President Boakai represented Liberia very well, and we are glad that we have a president in who understands that for Liberia to move forward, especially a man who in 2017 argued that he wanted to move Liberia from dependence on aid and to that of investment. So this summit was something that was good, and he used that occasion very well, Julius, by calling on other people. The pitch he made, many people think it was only for U.S. company. For him to tell the world in the White House that Liberia has this much resources, I think it's for other nations, other companies, other investment opportunities that are out there that we are seeking, because we understand to be able to empower our people to create jobs and provide the kind of economic opportunities they need. We will need to be able to bring in investment. We will not depend on aid to make this happen. And on this basis, we can say this trip for us, President Boakai represented the country very well, and indeed, this trip was a very successful trip for us. Thank you, Julius.
Okay, George Lobbo worked within time, and of course, he has stated clearly that for him, it was a successful trip. Jefferson Chesson will come with the counter to that. Jeff, your time begins now.
Thank you, Julius. And I listened to my comrade here, George, stating that trip was successful. George, do you have any ideas how many? What were the countries that were invited to that meeting? Do you have any idea? Do you know? Yeah, what are the countries? Do you have any idea?
No.
Okay, so if you don't have, so Julius, George, my issue is, George doesn't even know how the names of the countries that are invited. He doesn't even know the nature of the summit. It was trade instead of aid, and so the American policy now is to transition from aid to trade. And listen, the first thing is that in that 2+ meetings, the only thing Boakai did was to ask the Americans to do a survey. That shows that the resources that he already knows, because remember, China did a survey of our resources, a comprehensive, according to the president, did a comprehensive survey of our resources. So we know that the resources we got, iron ore, diamond, gold, and that's not what America is interested in. The president knew. And you know what? This is why he asked America to come and do a survey. And that alone, if you watch the video, turned Donald Trump off. The only thing he could have done just to compensate his president was to tell him, look, you speak good English. Can you imagine? The whole president speaks, and the only thing you gotta say, you speak good English. That means the president will not even inform of the kind of resources that America is interested in doing business with. That diamond go. You really think America get interested in diamond going? Oh no, they don't. They're both thinking about bauxite and other, rare earth minerals, not just gold and diamond. So Boakai did not make a case. He was uninformed, and that was terrible on our part, to have a president that doesn't even know the quality and the kind of resources we have to go to that kind of meeting that has to do with trade. Boakai was empty at that time. Did you listen to the president from Gabon? That man made a compelling case, and this is why he walked away with $500+ million agreement. And Boakai came back with nothing but just a certificate for speaking English. And secondly, you are only commended because, look, the American protocol and diplomacy is top notch. Boakai was squeezed. He was squeezed and smuggled into that meeting. And this is what Donald Trump not even fully informed that an English-speaking country was present at that meeting. Can you imagine, Julius, if you had a 5-person visiting this studio from Lofa County, you expect them to speak Bani, Loma, Gizi, Madingo, and Pele, and somebody come and start speaking Kru to you, you yourself will be astonished. You will ask them, man, where did you learn to speak Kru? Because I expected that you'll be from Lofa. But this was the situation. The summit was about French-speaking country, and Boakai was just smuggled in. And that's why he was uninformed and did not make a case for the Liberian people. That 2 minutes was enough to make a compelling case for Liberia so that he comes back with enough investment opportunity for America. But we don't have, he doesn't even know the kind of resources we have. He doesn't even know what America is looking for. And that's not diamond, gold, iron ore, and this kind of stuff. No, that's not what America wants now. They want more than that, to trade with your country. And Boakai did not have that information. He was completely ignorant at that meeting, and it did not yield any result for the Liberian people. He came back there as he went, wasted Liberian taxpayer money, and for nothing. He just went there for photo shoot and otherwise their political validation.
Okay, his time is out. Lobbo, I'll give you 2 minutes to respond to him. I'll also give him the same 2 minutes to do same.
Absolutely. I think it's important when we come to these conversations. I listened to my brother say the President Boakai was not informed. I think it's a pity. And let me correct you. The summit was not designated for French-speaking countries. It was President Boakai was one of the 5 African leaders invited to the U.S. African Summit. And so I just told you, Minister, I'll call you Minister because of public service experience you serve. So Minister Chesson, let me say this to you. There was a one-on-one meeting with President Boakai, which you have no knowledge what the details were. The conversation you saw there was at dinner. That 3 minutes was not the meeting. That was not the summit. So I think what you should do is to familiarize yourself with the entire itinerary as it relates to the summit, and then we can speak more about it. What I'm not here to do is to speculate. You talk about President Boakai didn't know exactly what we have. Our president was very clear. What he did was he told the Americans that we have lots of natural resources. What we are doing is whatever resources we have, we are inviting companies to come. And since that summit was geared towards investment, our president made that case. And what he did when he asked for the survey was it's a support to say, we have this much resources, but if we can have you Americans to do a survey, that is a second opinion to that of the Chinese. You go to hospitals, Minister Chesson, don't you seek second opinion? Aren't you advised to seek second opinion? So the president was not wrong, even if the Germans were doing a survey for. Because if we want to bring U.S. company, we want to give them that assurance, because the validation from a U.S. done survey, what it does is it provides that relief and that confidence in our argument, Chief. So, I mean, for again, like I said, we anticipate that these things will always happen. Our friends on the other side will always term it not to be, but we are clear. Our president did a very good job, and President Boakai represented Liberia well.
Okay, the time is out. Jeff, you have the same 2 minutes to respond. Hold on. Let me put your mic on. It starts now.
So, George, the first thing is that you don't even know the amount of countries that the names of the 5 countries that attended the summit. So it makes you limited in discussing this issue.
Hold on. Let me pause your time there. No, let me pause your time there. So I didn't ask about other countries. Hold on. Just leave it. No, just leave it. No, George, leave it. I will handle the issue properly. I directly asked about whether President Boakai's visit was successful or not. For you, it wasn't successful. For him, it was successful. So rather than going to these little jabs, let's just focus on what it is about Liberia. You can continue.
If you don't know the number of countries, the name of the countries that attended the summit, you will not fully understand what the nature of the summit. However, the summit was about trade. So how can you, Judge Lobbo, come to the conversation and you don't even know what you have? You don't even know what you have behind. You don't even know as a president. You don't even know the kind of resources you have. I mean, you go into that meeting, you know that Donald Trump or the American is not interested in gold, diamond, and iron ore. You know fully well that is not what they are interested in. But they're interested in something more than that. Rare earth minerals, the silver minerals, not just gold, diamond, and iron ore. And Boakai was completely ignorant to what we have. He did not even mention just something we have. Boakai was completely ill-prepared and ignorant of what he went for at the meeting. That meeting was completely a catastrophe for our country. Boakai misused the 2 minutes he had to make a very good case for the Liberian people. If you don't know, the countries that were invited at that meeting was Liberia, Senegal, Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, and Mauritania. Those are the 5 countries that were invited, and they were invited on particular reasons, because this country must have had some amount of interest in the American trades, and those countries were there and they made their cases. Look, if you listen to the president from Gabon, this is why the guy walked away with $5 million. Boakai walked away with nothing. He came back to this country with his hands swinging. That summit was a failure, and Boakai shouldn't have even attended that summit to waste the Liberian people taxpayer money.
Okay, the time is up. What I will do now is to begin the next question with you. And that is for 2 minutes. You, Jeff Chesson, what will constitute a successful visit?
Thank you.
For the Liberian president.
The first thing, Julius, as a president and attending such a summit, knowing full well that you're going there for a trade summit, you want to sell your country. You want to see what your country has. What can you bring forward to invite Americans to come and invest in your economy, to bring jobs for your people, to create a better livelihood for the people compared to what you have now. Because since the Union Party took over, life has gotten harder than ever before. So your opportunity was to exploit that 2 to 3 minutes to tell the Americans that, look, besides iron ore, gold, and diamond, we got better minerals that you're interested in. So this president should have done better than just standing there and tell the American people, hey, we need you to come and do something. That was the least we expected from a president, especially a president that had boasted about knowledge, especially a party that had boasted about knowledge. Boakai was completely ignorant. He didn't even know what to ask the Americans. But if you listen to the president for Gabon, the guy was clear. He said, look, we want you to do this. We got this. We want you to do this. Our country is rich in this and this and this. We need you to come and invest in this area. Our president was like, I don't even know what we have. But just come and do survey, and after that survey, now then we can have full discussion on something. So what the benefit? Why you wasted taxpayer money to go to America and you and your entourage? Why you did that? If you knew you had nothing to contribute. Your friends were telling the American president that, look, we have this kind of resources and you are very interested in this. We have this kind of resources and you are very interested in this. So you need to come and do this, do that, do that. And if you listen to Donald Trump, he agreed that he was even going to go there and find a time to visit Africa because of the compelling case the guy made. But Boakai didn't make no compelling case for Liberia. He squandered the 2 to 3 minutes he had. This showed that he's very incompetent and unable to lead a country like Liberia. Okay. We need to rise above this.
The time is out. George Lobbo, you are already arguing that it was a successful trip. What do you think? Can you advance in terms of it being successful, and also what do you think could have happened to have made it not successful?
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. You asked 2 questions. What is it?
No, since you are already arguing.
So what would have made the trip not successful, knowing how Donald Trump is very unconventional? If it would have erupted into something chaotic with that of our president. We've seen how he treated Ramaphosa. We've seen how he treated Vladimir Zelensky. And again, I don't want to spend much of my time running behind my good friend and brother, because I think he's off for a little bit, because I've provided you the clarity. Again, the 2 minutes you saw that interaction was at dinner. That wasn't the summit. I informed you here earlier on that President Boakai had a one-on-one meeting without anyone present, just with the chief.
No, Jeff, leave him to flow. Go ahead.
So, again, I just told you the details of that one-on-one meeting will have to be released for us to really do a full dive into what was accomplished. But not only that, Julius. Just speaking on the surface, we all in Liberia had assumed that the second compact will qualify for the $500+ million. That because the closure down of USAID, that it has been cancelled. We learned as a result of this trip, Julius, that it has not been cancelled, that it is being reviewed. So technically, Minister Chesson, that's money if we bring to this country, it will be able to help us do a lot of things for our people. So on the surface alone, without all the technicalities and the details, it is a successful trip. We're able to re-engage with the IMF, other major financial institutions. I continue to tell you, Minister Chesson, the president had a one-on-one meeting with Donald J. Trump, and he had another meeting where Minister Sarah Beslow Yanti was in attendance in the room. So again, what I would suggest, I understand the desire from our friends on the other side. Just wait a little bit. We'll provide these details as they come along. But for us, this trip was successful. And I will not do it into back and forth with my good friend.
Okay, good. Now, we before we leave this topic, we have to see what recommendations are there. And I'll go to Jeff. You've been in power. You've been near power. I'll give you 2 minutes. What could be your recommendations to the administration in terms of, since you believe the trip was not successful, what could be a way forward? What are some of the pieces of advice you could give? Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you, Julius. And again, my good friend and brother George needs to be stable. And, stop moving around. Answer the question directly. This trip was successful or not? It was unsuccessful, and I maintain that because Boakai attended this meeting uninformed and inadequate to address Donald Trump. Look, Julius, what Boakai should have done, instead of asking for additional survey that the Chinese have done already, and the fact that he even denied the fact that he said it was not a comprehensive. In his address to the nation, he said the Chinese have conducted a comprehensive survey of our natural resources, and he denied that on camera, and that alone is an issue for our governance process, because if the people cannot trust the president, if he lies through his teeth, that is unacceptable for governance. But however, he should have gone prepared to tell the American president, look, besides diamond, gold, and iron ore that you're interested in, that you are not interested in, sorry, we have these other kind of minerals that are unmeasured. So maybe you need to come and let's measure the commercial value of these resources, extra resources other than gold, diamond, and iron ore. But that means Boakai is uninformed about the natural resources of our country. That means the Ministry of Land, Mines, and Energy is not doing a good work. They are incompetent, and this shows that Boakai alone is running this government, and he is very as much as incompetent as those people he appointed in his government. He disgraced the Liberian people for the fact that he did not even know the amount and the kinds of resources we have in this country. Thank you, Julius.
Okay, now let me say this before I go back to Josh. Yeah, I can understand the fervor and the exuberance of the debate, but in addressing the presidency, I just want us to be a little measured. Certain phrases. Yeah, you can be strong, but when you say president lied through his teeth, those kinds of things. Yeah, let's.
No, but the truth is that he lied on camera, and you are a journalist.
Jeff. Let's find a way to euphemize it, because I don't want a situation.
Okay, so what he said was truth. Julius, was that truth?
Hold on, sir. I don't want us to get to a point where, if he will start to use certain words too on your leaders or whatsoever,
it's not about words, Julius. It's about the truth. He lied.
Jeff,
how can we polish that? Okay, Julius.
Jeff.
Okay, Julius.
Yeah.
He contradicted himself.
Okay, so it is.
Thank you.
The
president contradicted himself.
Thanks so kindly. So I have put your microphone off. Okay, Jeff, I have put your microphone off. I was just saying, for us here at OKFM, we like to be a little measured in addressing leaders. That's an important thing to do. Now, George, do you have any recommendations, whether it is to him, whether it's to the government, in terms of these trips? You are arguing that it is successful, yes, but could there be other things that could be done?
So Julius, on a serious note, the thing about it is these high-level summits, most of the benefits, again, they are within the follow-up meetings. And like the Minister of Finance did, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So I think our team just needs to be speeded in putting out some of the these meetings, the meetings from those different meetings, and who all they met with, so that way inform the public. But you know what I found fascinating? You've mentioned that President Boakai is not informed. Minister Chesson, I've tried to correct you multiple times. Let me make it clear. The 500 million you're talking about, that agreement was signed on the 8th of July. The summit began on the 9th. So are you counting that as part of the benefit from the summit? So that shows that, Chief.
Jeff, please, go ahead.
That shows that those are negotiations that have started way before the summit. Again, I just thought to provide that clarity. So it shows that you're not informed, and President Boakai is. On the issue of not telling the people how many minerals we have, Mr. Minister Chesson, the president informed you, the public, that the Chinese did survey in 2 counties. Is that comprehensive out of 15? Based on your understanding, is that comprehensive? So I'm not, look, Judas, I would love to spend time to go back and forth. It saddens me that a man who comes from a party, that a president will go out and come back here to watch games, to hang out, and we'll be talking about benefit, But I don't want to dwell in the past. We have an obligation to the Liberian people to move this country forward. What we are focused on is what we can do to transform the lives of our people and take them out of poverty. So my good friend and brother, this is a 6-year. You got 4 more years plus to go with this. We understand that. So I can't follow you all along. I have to state to the public what we are doing as a government to change their life, and that's what we are focused on.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Your time is out. We move on to the next talking. No. I'm about to give you 4 minutes to kick off the next round of discussions. You can choose or use it how you want to use it. In these 4 minutes, compare and contrast the first couple of years' travels of former President George Weah. Give us some examples where his travels more beneficial to the country than what it is now, and all of those things. So we give you 4 minutes to kick off this round. Jeff Chesson.
Thank you, Julius. And first of all, let me just clarify. The issue to you, Josh, and maybe this comprehension issue. The issue was whether the visit of Joseph Boakai at the White House was successful. And I maintain it was very unsuccessful and was disgraceful to Liberians. Come to talk about comparing the travels of the 2 presidents. First, Julius, let's limit it to a time period. Let's look at the first 2 years.
Yeah,
we cannot compare. We cannot compare. George, we have 6 years to.
No, I said first 2 years.
Limited 2 years. But first of all, and Julius, let me just say something. In our first year of governance of this country, the first visit our president ever made was to Ivory Coast to meet with the Ivorian president, because our country was in huge debt with the CLSG company for the electricity, and President Weah visited the president of Ivory Coast. And upon his visit, his interaction with the president, I can tell you what happened. I was even surprised. President Weah interacted with the Ivorian president like booty. And after he came out, the president said, "Look, your entire debt to Ivory Coast for electricity is cancelled." We came back on a 0 slate. And this is how come we're able to even reduce the cost of electricity in the country. In just less than a year, the president visited France, where he brought 10 million euros to this country. After he visited, 10 million euros came to this country. After that, he traveled to the United Arab Emirates. When he came back, we had the Emirates Hospital in Bapolu. We have military equipment that were given to the AFL due to his travel. He went to Qatar. He came back, we have the PHP Park, where young people today go there for celebration. They go there to enjoy themselves. These are the development that the travels of President Weah in his first 2 years brought to this country millions. Boakai has traveled over 14, 15 times out of this country. What has he brought back? Nothing. What has the country benefited? One, the removal of the speaker. Upon his travel, he came back, they removed the speaker. They spent thousands of Liberian taxpayer money to remove the speaker. When he traveled again, what we have was the brutalization of the civil servants at the Ministry of Transport. That's what he brings back. When he traveled and came back, what we had a crash of the airplane. Every time this old man travels and comes back to this country, we have disaster. When George Weah traveled and came back, he brought development, he brought money, he brought help to our economy. Absolutely all Boakai travels has been blank and nothing has come to us at all. He has not brought anything to this country. Completed about MOU and all. What happened with the yellow machine, the equipment? What happened with the little buses? What happened with the Nicotech arrangement for people to travel? It was a scam by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to rob Liberian students of money. What happened with all these MOUs that he signed when he traveled? Nothing has come to fruition in this country. Boakai has brought nothing back for all his many travels, over 14 travels or more in less than 2 years. Nothing has we have benefited. Even the latest travel to the US.
Thanks so kindly, sir. We'll hold you that. Let's reset it. Compare and contrast Weah's 2-year travels with those of Joseph Boakai. George Lobbo, your time begins now.
I find it fascinating, and I like my good friend and brother Renton. Look, let me say this, Julia. It's laughable that a president who would travel to tap football and will waste taxpayer money. Minister Chesson, I like how you were nicely putting these trips out. But given your background, I would have loved for you to attach cost and return on some of them. President George Weah was the first president who told the Liberian people openly that indeed a friend paid for his travel from here to Senegal.
Chief. No, Jeff. No, Jeff, leave the man. Let the man talk. Jeff, allow the man. I'll still come back.
It's on travel, right?
Go ahead.
You're my friend, brother. Relax. So, President Weah left from here, went to Morocco, went to Paris, cost us over $200,000. And I hear the minister talk about $10 million. Up to today's date, I challenge you, now that you were in the government, to provide a comprehensive report as to how that money impacted the livelihood of our people. But Judas, President Weah went to Beijing and spent over $400,000. We know what happened. It took a 50-man delegation to Beijing, to the point where the former national housing boss, Madam Cecil Coffee Brown, they were so less busy until she went to the China Wall. People were there on tourist hangouts. But let's look at what we did. President Boakai first year travel, when he went to Beijing, he had a state visit welcome, one-on-one meeting with President Xi Jinping. Projects that were stalled because of the CDC poor performance, irresponsible management of resources, lack of diplomatic understanding as it relates to their voting pattern at the UN. Those projects that were stalled, the $5 million ELBC project, the overpass bridges, President Boakai was able to use his influence while in Beijing to make sure that the Chinese recommitted themselves to those projects, and we've seen the benefit of those trips. And let's go further. President Weah went to Brussels. It was funny. Upon his arrival, the first thing he did, former President Weah is a celebrity. We know that. He's Africa's greatest soccer player. What he was presented with in Brussels was a soccer ball to tap. What did he get out of Brussels? Was to sign a recommitment agreement from that of the Unity Party that they will get budget support. So if we were to go back and forth, but let's look at, since you talk about what did he bring back. Before President Weah went to the UN General Assembly in 2018, what happened? His own Minister of Information, then Eugene Nangbe, told the world that $16 billion had gone missing, in which the exchange rate was $104 million. President came back, what happened? At the UN General Assembly, President Weah addressed the world and told them that was the most embarrassing and most hurtful thing I had to deal with as a Liberian. For a certain president to come to power and tell the world that he had no plan, but upon his return, they will consummate a plan. President Weah returned before you drafted a PAPD. Can you imagine that? President Weah is former President Weah, the only man to spend the first 100 days in office without a 100-day deliverable action plan. I challenge any CDC government official to show me that one and tell us. But let me say this. Again, Minister Chesson, we know what you guys left us. We'll do our best as a government. We will not be taking blames. It's unfortunate that you're going back and forth. I will focus on more as to where we're taking the country. But because if I go with you, there's a lot that you guys did in this place. People were protesting, ambassadors were writing for you guys to put their money back. You guys were introducing policies like dig hole, cover hole, and national housing scandal of 800,000 had happened, $25 million map up exercise, and where an orthodox methodology was used. Look, we can go on and on, but I'll say this to you. What we've brought to governance is fiscal discipline. We've shown the world that Liberia indeed has a president and a leader that is here for the people, and this is what we'll focus on. We'll continue to do our part. We look forward to seeing you guys in 2029.
Okay. His name is Josh Lobbo. The next point is rebuttals. So we'll go back to you, Jeff, to giving all that he has said in 2 minutes to do your rebuttal to him.
I really think that you're not doing a good work, and I can understand George's limitation, but you got to keep to the topic. If you want me to discredit this Unity Party government, they have everything and every reason to discredit them. Let him stick to the topic. What has Boakai brought back for all his many visits and using all the Liberian money on travels? What has he brought back to this country in 2 years? What can you point to, George? What has Boakai brought back to this country? Nothing. Just travel and take pictures. He lied about everything. All his travels. You came back. You said you people are going to bring 285 yellow machines. Where are they? Where are the Alolo bosses that came from Ghana? Where are they? You know, where are the scholarship? The Nicotech scholarship. Where are they? You exploited and took money from Liberians, poor Liberian students. Where are they? You lied about everything. When you signed MOU, you came back, nothing up to now. In 2 years, this government has been in power for 2 years, and Boakai has nothing to show. What has he done to help the poor and suffering people of Liberia? What has he done? Besides increasing the hardship on the people, besides increasing the prices of commodities on the market. Now he has increased the prices of vehicle registration. How do you expect the poor Liberian people to make ends meet? What have you done? You squandered $22 million on road, just grading road, 22 million. The Ministry of Public Works now today cannot account for that 22 million. This government is corrupt and incompetent. Boakai has brought nothing in 2 years of all his travels. And George, you need to speak to that. What has Boakai brought? Forget about all this rhetorics about George. No, that's not the question. The question is, what has Boakai brought back to this country? I've explained, I've outlined what George Weah have brought to this country in 2 years of his administration. What has Boakai done? Nothing. George is not even able to tell us one thing that Boakai has done for the country. You talk about the overhead pass.
Okay,
that was
time
small.
out. Thanks so kindly. So it was for rebuttal. So I gave him his 4 minutes to compare and contrast the travels of the two. Hold on, sir, of the former president and now the current president. Now, George, your 2 minutes to do your rebuttal to him.
Debunk what he said. Since let me be clear, it's funny when I hear you say we've done nothing for the Liberian people, Minister Chesson, and you come from the Ministry of Public Works. Roads you left in ruin, contracts you left abandoned that you could not pay, for example.
Josh,
let me.
No, Jeff, please, I beg you, leave the man. Do your rebuttal to him. Your time is going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, listen. I understand these gimmicks, and I'm fine with them. I've dealt with so many of you seditians, so I'm immune to you guys. So it's fine. Just be fine. Let's deal with the issue. But look, there were projects you left abandoned for 6 years. Basic road rehabilitation, you come from the Ministry of Public Works, you guys could not do. Today, the Liberians are testifying, Julius, you yourself have gone around to be asking us what have we done to improve the people's life, Minister Chesson. Given your background, Chief, think about it. Where you guys left gasoline price when we came to power, where you guys left rice prices when we came to power, what we did was a reduction in those prices. Not only that, in economics, the government has a responsibility to facilitate the movement of goods and services by creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. This is why today, even so, Emmanuel Peno, a CDC senator, is testifying that for the first time since he's been a lawmaker, he's able to take goods. His people are moving their markets to Zwedru in 7 hours, Chief. To be asking, what have we done? It's unfortunate. But I understand these things. Look, Minister Chesson, I understand we are now where we want to be, given what you guys left. It's true. Even there's Lane Street that go in front of the Ministry of Public Works had no street light. When it gets dark, when we go outside, you'll see it's lighted up. You left the city dark. Today, we've lighted up the city. So again, to be asking all these questions, Judas, I find it laughable. But I understand. It's just that the Liberian people will have to judge for themselves. We strongly believe that within the 6 years, we've been very clear.
Okay, your time is out. Thanks so kindly. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us two of Liberia's brightest sons in George Lobbo and Jefferson Chesson. Jeff comes from the CDC, George is from the UP. The first two areas we looked at, the president's travel to the U.S., was it successful or not? George Lobbo says yes. Jefferson Chesson says no. And then we move on to the next to compare the first 2-year travel of each of the presidents, compare and contrast. They did that. The final one will come to, let me begin this with Jeff as well. He has written a lot. He's in support of the July 17 protest. Jeff, in 3 minutes, why do you think, and the reason I allow both of you to flow in the previous question that way, because it ties in, it segues over to the third one, in terms of talking about what you've done, what you've not done, and all of that. So it is understandable. So now, given all that has happened in the country, given everything else that we know, is the July 17 protest justified? Is it necessary at all? In 3 minutes.
Thank you, Julius. And the 3 minutes is small, but I will make my maximum use, and I will address what he talked about, what they've done. You've done nothing. We start completing what we left and securing all the fundings were secure and everything. But we left a lot of pipeline project. Why don't this government go after the pipeline project? We left project like the Tapitan to Totan, to the Ivory Coast border. That's about 40 kilometers. What have they done about it? The Vonjima to Minikama. What have you put on? Those are the projects you should be going after. Be going after the Putuken to John Davis Town Road. Secure funding like we did to pave those roads. But don't talk about what we've done already. All the projects they've worked on currently are projects that we secure funding for. We had contracts and everything in place for those projects. But let's just come to the protest. You talk about the protest. There are too many reasons why Liberians should protest. And Julius, it's beyond protest. This is about the Liberian people rising up against this government, against bad governance. Look, we will be protesting, and it's justifiable. And this is why the Unity Party is afraid of this protest, because they know that the Liberian people are rising up, and this protest is justified. We talked about we want to. The protest is not only about just compelling them to do well. It's about protesting about the bad governance, the wrong they've done. We want to protest about the $500,000 that was given for NASCAR just before inauguration to Sylvester Grisby. That $500,000 is people pensioner money. What did they do with that money? We need to account for that. We're talking about the bailout from the central bank, $8 million. The bailout. We talk about Luther Tapper misuse of the inauguration money. Where's the report on that? Why haven't they done anything? We talk about you firing Moda for misusing taxpayer money and leaving the LRA boss leaving out because he's from Lofa County. Those are some of the reasons why we're protesting. That your fight against corruption should not be only for people who are not from your county, but also people who are from your county. You need to punish them. Why you left the LRA boss when you're involved in the corruption? We're talking about the $22 million that was squandered by Giddings from the Ministry of Public Works just to create roads. $22 million could have built 20 kilometers of the southeastern road, or just even construct the road from Freeport to straight to St. Paul Bridge, or all the way as far as Iron Gate. $22 million was squandered under this government. The people are rising up against that. The people are also rising up against a $1.3 million vehicle he bought.
Okay, time out. Thanks so kindly, sir. George, where do you stand on this protest? Is it justified? Is it necessary? Your time starts now. 3 minutes.
Julius, if it was not because this is a debate where many people are watching, I would have laughed to death, my brother. You're very interesting to hear some of the things you say. But no, Julius, I think protest is justifiable. It's a constitutional right. And I strongly support citizens' right to peacefully assemble, to petition their government. And it is a good thing. You know, but what saddens me about this particular protest, the leaders and the messengers, they say sometimes the message can be good, but the messenger can make it bad. I hear my brother talking about they are standing up against corruption. Wow, it was laughable. $25 million in the first year was used for mop-up exercise. Up to today's date, the CDC said that they will know the money changers. Your own GSC report stated that the businesses that were used in the mop-up don't exist in Liberia. I know you people talk about 17 continents. They might be on some of them. And you are here talking the things you're talking about? What a pity. Wow. In the very first year, 9 ambassadors wrote the CDC government to put their money back because of you guys' reckless behavior. And you people didn't see the need to stand up. Wow. What a pity. And let's go forward to Chairman Molu, former chairman of the CDC, one of the leaders of the protest. Can you imagine a man who told the world as a certain party chairman that his stand-up bearer, the president of the republic, that this man will go out and solicit money and will bring it and divert it to his personal use? You people didn't see the need to protest. And that enough was not enough by then. Not only that, what is laughable, the fact that Molu will even go as far as saying that the former president to give females job, he had to sleep with them. Enough was not enough. What a pity. But again, we understand it. It is their right to assemble, Julius. You know, I only pray and feel for all the Liberians. And like I said, I want the Ministry of Justice to grant them the right. And my friend, when you are protesting, let me know, because I want to stop by and bring a can of water for you as well, because you're my man. I know how much you need to be hydrated. However, Julius, we'll say this again. It is justifiable. The only thing, the government has a responsibility to provide security for them, because we don't know there could be intruders and the logistics around. The only thing I was concerned about is the 3 days. If you just want to petition, moreover, it's small. All the embassies around here, you can do it in 1 day, because it costs a lot of resources. These are money we can be using to continue to light up communities, send the living room. But I would just say, Mr. Chesson, I think the CDC cannot be the one talking about accountability and good governance. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate. It's laughable. And you guys should stop. We look forward to 2029.
Okay, his name is George Lobbo, so I'll give you 2 minutes for
next time maybe you need to ask him what.
Hold on. So I will come to you now for your 2 minutes to start to do rebuttals. It seems on this question, both of you agree a little bit, but he thinks that you are not the right messengers. You have 2 minutes to rebut.
So Julius, next time maybe ask George what dialect he speaks, then you ask him the question in your dialect, then he will understand. The question is this protest genuine? Is it needed? Is it something that is needed at this time? I'm saying to you, yes. Because this government has been so corrupt, it has pushed the people to the brink. And the people not only protesting, Julius, they're rising up. They're rising up against the corruption at NOCAL. They're rising up against the corruption at the Ministry of Commerce. They're rising up against the corruption at the IAA. They're rising up against the first lady's fake BM Nicotech arrangement she made. They're rising up against the $10 million construction that Boakai is doing in Lofa County. They're rising up against the amount of millions of dollars that Boakai is spending in Broadville for his personal use. They are rising up against stealing from poor people as the motorbike people. You're asking people to register and that they will be able to run in Monrovia. After they've done their registration, you raise over $4 million from these poor people. And then you deny them the right after collecting the money. These are the reasons why the Liberian people are rising up. They're not only protesting, they're rising up against the government. You lied to Liberian people about bringing 285 yellow machines. Where are they? You lied, you talk about the massive dismissal of civil servants in this country. You purged the civil servants of people who you thought did not support you. And that is wrong in our democracy. This government has done so much, and the people have been silent, not because they are not hurt, but because they were afraid of police brutality. They were afraid of arbitrary arrest. They were afraid of shooting and killing. They rising up against the people that were shot and killed in Kenjor. They rising up against the police brutality against peaceful protesters. That is what the people are rising up against. And this government will have to couple, will have to buckle
Your
up.
time is out. Thank you so kindly, sir. Thank you so kindly. George, he has outlined reasons why the protest is necessary. You generally, as a Democrat, will say, yeah, it is their right to protest. The government should give them that. But there are specific points, a whole litany of issues that he outlined. On the basis of those issues, do you agree that the protest is necessary? That's for your 2 minutes rebuttal. It starts now.
So, Julius, I've already said I support Liberians' right to peacefully assemble and petition their government. There's no other way I can say it, Chief. I've said it. But you know, again, this is not a comedy show, but you've really made me laugh. I'm sorry to say. You've made me laugh. I've not had this much laughter in a long time. And here's why. It's funny to hear you say you're rising up because of police brutality. Wow. At the CDC headquarters, 102 were massively flogged. And you... You beat the police.
No, Jeff, leave it. Let him go ahead.
You know, it's so funny that my friends from the CDC have forgot this so quick, Jeff. You know, I would say this to you. There's a lot. In the first 10 months, President, we are 20-some more condominiums surface. He had broken down his little houses and was erecting mansions.
There was protest then.
Yeah. Again, so I'm just saying, protest. Listen, Jeff, I've been very clear. We want Liberians to assemble and petition their government. We're clear about it. We want them to be protected. There are going to be people, for no matter what happens, that will feel some type of way about the government. We understand that people lost election in this country. We know it hurts. There were people who were being paid through mobile money, and all those things have ended. We expect them to call. We expect them to be frustrated. But again, Jeff, I can't spend all my time with you, Minister Chesson, running around you. Because you know what? We are in the driving seat. We have an obligation to 5.3 million people. For you is to please your partisan. Our job is to continue to keep focus on moving the Liberian people life forward. And that is what we'll do. I'm not going to sit here to be running all around with you. I wish you guys all the best, like I said. I look forward to seeing you in 2029. You guys can protest. I want to call on the police, the Ministry of Justice, to provide water for them. If there's sandwiches, please make it available for our brothers. They need to be protected.
Time out. Thanks so kindly. Your microphone is off. That's how we do it. So again, from the government, United Party, and their supporting end, I've told you, officials can call on my line. That's what I always do here. So not more than 4 officials from each side. I repeat, from opposition side, citizen, and all the opposition side, not more than 4. I'll take on my personal line. Unity Party, government, all their supporters side, I will not take more than 4. Everybody else fight on the main lines. 777-700-995, 555-995-995. The first person I'm taking is Daniel Sando from the end of the government, Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs. Not more than 2 minutes for anybody who calls him as an official. And everybody else, 1 minute. Go ahead, Daniel. Your 2 minutes start now.
Good evening, Julius. Let me say good evening to the 2 distinguished gentlemen in studio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very appalled by the very Desmond presentation by the former assistant minister, and listening to Mr. Jefferson Chesson this evening, I cannot understand why the CDC government performed so desperately. Because his performance in studio this afternoon is nothing short of embarrassment to represent a former administration that did so much to the country, and you go into the studio, you try to question the impeccable credentials of the government. But specifically, I just want to point to, he asked a question: what has President Boakai's travel brought to this country? Apparently, Mr. Jefferson Chesson has forgotten that because of some of the diplomatic blunder that their administration created, international doors are being shut on this country. This country was being isolated in the international cycle. Today, we have moved from isolation, stigmatization, to acceptability. Okay? Just the other day, our President Boakai, was in the Oval Office with the most powerful man in the world. because our passports are no longer in the hands of criminals. The Chinese, for example, all the good things, look at Liberia post-war infrastructure. The Chinese have done so well for us. But because of the diplomatic blunder and corny attitude of some of the people who are representing Liberia on the international scene, under the George Weah administration, the Chinese shut down their doors. Today, President Boakai traveled to China last year to attend the China-Africa Summit, the FOCA. The overhead bridge is about to be built. A $5 million broadcast complex for LBS is being built. A lot of good things are happening. So I thought to give this list of issues because I think our brother is very short-sighted. He has lost sight of the real issue. But overall, I think the country is on the right trajectory. So
okay. Thanks so kindly. Your 2 minutes have ended. Let me take from the end of the CDC, former Representative Akaros Gray for 2 minutes as well. So that's one apiece. Let me put you on speaker. Your 2 minutes start now, sir.
Judas, thank you very much.
Let me put it up here so my man can be looking at you too.
Are you getting me now?
Yeah. You can go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. It's unfortunate that our minister will call and say Liberia international image has been restored when there have been no diplomatic breakdown for the last 6 years by whether the United States government or the Chinese government or the Russian government or members of the Security Council. That is unfortunate. These are the deceptions and lies these guys created. If you compare the first 1 year or 2 years, but now President Weah had a major signature project called the 14th Military Hospital. But now, what can Boakai show?
Was it as a result of his travel?
Excuse me.
Was it as a result of his travel?
It was in relationship to that, and even the issue of the Bapolu Hospital, the Emery Hospital. It was in relationship to that.
Okay.
When we went to Europe, let me tell this man, the first trip President Weah made in Europe, I was there in Europe with him. Okay, both in France and Belgium, we back over 200 million United States dollars. What are you talking about? Are you joking? Have you not made your research?
$200 million for what?
We spoke. Let me tell you this. We spoke to the World Bank. We spoke to the government in Belgium and the European Development Day program. Put everything together with the France meeting. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what this government has brought is deception of line of yellow machine, for example. The only signature project that President Boakai has that I know about that the police boot that have been broken down that you reported on. That's the only signature project. They cannot point to anything in the Republic of Liberia. Look, for our president to say the machine is a gift from his friend and come back to say Double Jala will not buy the machine. Then they come back.
Okay, your time is out. Thanks so kindly, sir. Your 2 minutes have ended. I'm very particular about timing. Let's go international. Let me take an international call. No, please don't call the international line. It's only for international calls. Let's go international. Welcome. Let's hear you.
This is Elston, the legend we said, and I'm calling from the USA.
Go ahead.
A splendid conversation unfolding right now. Thanks to my brother George Lobbo. He who speaks the loudest doesn't always represent the most accurate.
Oh, you're leading people.
What I'm inferring. Having said that, look, I just got off the phone, I kid you not, with a lady at the Social Security office here in the great United States of America. And in one of their questionnaire, because I'm trying to obtain my Social Security card that I lost. And the lady asked me, well, what is your place of birth? And I told her Liberia, and she screamed like, wow, I've heard a lot about Liberia lately on the radio and the TV, and I'm going to visit Liberia. So having established that, how can fruitless when people are thinking about going there? What does that entail? Tourists, people who are interested in Liberia, be visiting Liberia, what does that bring? It attracts foreigners. So how can somebody say it was a fiasco that Boakai came to the US to see Trump? Rethink that position, my brother Jeff, and try to speak in a modest tone and not be so overly exuberant and be too loud.
Okay, thanks so kindly. All the way there from the U.S., let's go to another official of the government. That's from the Ministry of, that's the second president from the end of the government, the Ministry of Public Works. Rahim Bidete, welcome. That's on my personal line. Go ahead.
Good evening, Julius, and good evening to our studio guests. I'm on screen to call because the former assistant minister, whose character speaks something different at the Ministry of Public Works, makes some inference of some projects, and we have to provide the kind of clarity needed. But just for his information about the corridors between Fishtown down up to Zredu, the John Davis is talking about up to Zredu, let me inform him that in the next dry season, contractors will be on the corridor. We secured the funding. We provided contracting details to consultants and contractors. So they will be working in that corridor in the next dry season, including the corridor from Zredu to Tapeta. So you cannot be speaking to road works when the prints left by the ministry are so terrible that we've been able to correct, and we're trying to make some progress. When it comes to roads, the people of the society will understand when the works are being done. Just right before the road that he rushed on to go to your studio from Boucher Island, that road was not liable all through the time they were in power. Today, those who live across, those who live Ghana's they have easy access to travel to their locations. So we cannot be comparing apple and lime. When they inherited the country in 2018, it was a far better country than we inherited from them in 2024. So we can't be comparing that. Yes, Akara is right to say in 2018, Georgia may have done a military hospital. But in 2024, we have to correct some of the pitfalls and some of the deep spoils they left in government. And that's why we've done over the last 1 year, and now we're making progress.
Okay.
As Lobbo said, our focus is not to be following them in the mud. Our focus is to focus to do the work of Lorraine people which we're elected to do.
Thanks so kindly, Raheem Belated. That's how we'll hold you there. Let's take from the regular line. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thanks for having me. This is Benigo Newton. I call from Sophie, this is training Mosera County.
Go ahead.
Let me applaud the defendant of the CDC-led government. I think he's demonstrating and expressing very well. Look, if you look at the statistics of the government structure of the government, it is clearly appalling because for initial stage, Sylvester Griffiths, who was caught in cookie jars, is yet investigated by the executive. Secondly, the president removed several bank officials and damaged their character. At the end of the day, he rewarded them. The purpose of that we yet to know. The president at the same time to $8 million USD from CBA account to SRB. We know the responsibility of that set amount. What purpose it went for. So the government has several issues. So these are issues that we'll be protesting against on the 17th of this month. It's our constitutional right to do that. Thank you for the time.
Thanks. So kindly we go to the public line again on the other end. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Judah. Let me say the pleasant good evening to your guests in studio. My name is Hussein. I'm Hussein Kerwin. I call from Jacobstown.
Go ahead.
So in fact, I appreciate the both guests, but in fact, George Lobbo make my day. You know, and he's not have to be combative. You look around in different corridors, Julius. People, the ordinary people, are feeling the impact of this leadership under Joseph Boakai in the different contexts, in the different corridors.
As a result of his travels?
Pardon me?
As a result of his travels?
No, not the result of his travel. But the travel, it is not a one-day thing. It is a whole process. Even succeeding government can come and start to benefit from some of those travels. Okay. It is a whole process, right? So, just about the exceptional world to allow some of the progress of the government. We don't have to be combative. You guys destroy it and we will fix it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so kindly, Hussein. Let's take Mamensi Kaba, the second from the side of the CDC on my personal line. So that 2-2 now on my personal line. Let me go back to the time. Wait, hold on. Before you start talking, I'll tell me everything. I know, I know what eating show on your phone. Your 2 minutes start now. Not more than 2. You can go ahead now.
Thank you so very much, Julian. I just want to say thank you to Minister Chesson. I have been entertained intellectually, politically, and evidently. Now to the issue, I listened to one government official saying that Liberia has regained its image. The truth is, Liberia is being, and not Liberia, but the government is gradually destroying the image of this country. By being lawless, we are aware that this government forcefully removed a speaker, disrespected the Supreme Court, the highest court of our land. This is the first time I have seen a sitting government after the war post-conflict Liberia for a sitting government to disregard the Supreme Court ruling. Not one time. This government removed people from tenure position, even in the midst of the Supreme Court saying
and so those are justifiable reasons for the protest.
You give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I got to ask questions.
Yeah, those are some of the justifiable reasons. And corruption. And John Lobbo does not have the audacity to talk about corruption. As a government that came to power on the mantra of change, you have been grossly corrupt. Look at the deputy minister at the Ministry of Finance. That man report carries it that he forged a document, yet he still works at the will and pleasure of the president. Mr. Gravesby was involved into corruption. He still works at the will and pleasure of the president. The guy who used to work at the Ministry of Commerce, Doug Cooper, he was found in the act of corruption by fraudulently graduating from the university, and the government could not even remove him. He had to resign by himself. The government has been so very corrupt. The chairman of the Unity Party took money and mismanaged the fund. You, Julia, you were the one who called people from the various districts, and they said there was nothing used up to
Your
now.
time is out. Thanks so kindly. We'll hold you right there. Let's come back to the international line. Let's see who's right here. Welcome. Let's hear you.
This has been Nando's.
You said you said what's your name?
Yes, this is Ben Nando's running.
Oh, you stop calling this international line. Yeah, you say you're calling from where?
This is Bernardo's running email from Morocco.
Go ahead.
And Julius, pointed out when I listened to George Lobbo say that George Weah goes outside, or when he went out and got some donor fundings, brought it back to Liberia and diverted it to his personal use. Are you kidding me? I mean, who's this guy? What did he learn his book that he said he has learned? In fact, maybe from the US.
He was quoting a Maba Malu leaked audio.
No, I mean, even if we must, does he believe that such thing happened? I channeled in different form and manner to the extent that no individual has the capacity to that funding, that donor funding for their personal use. So I'm wondering where is he coming from with that kind of thing.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We'll hold you right there. You disagree with that? Let's come on this side, the public line. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name there? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, oh chief. We ain't got enough time.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Prince S. Fatima, and I'm from a beautiful community. Yeah, let me say good evening to your guests.
My man, just go to the point. We ain't got enough time. I beg you.
Okay. My issue. I think if one come to the national disco, I think you need to come with facts. You need to come with clarity. But for the former assistant minister, I think he's giving misleading information.
What is the misleading information?
Okay, he said the president wants the United States addressing the U.S. president. The president does not even know the kind of resources we have in abroad, and the president said he is that the Chinese government, the Chinese Kenya, and the two countries, they are also present two countries. But he's now saying that the president came out to say the entire 15 countries where
what? Okay, now you carry yourself. So I have two persons on the line. I have Benjamin Myers he's the spokesperson of the Ministry of Public Works. I also have Gabriel Yinkan. So Benjamin Myers will go first with his 2 minutes. Then Gabriel Yinkan, who I also have on that call, will also go. So Ben, you can go now.
Good afternoon to your guests. And I want to call to address a particular point made by the former Assistant Minister of Public Works, Jefferson Chesson, who alleged that the Minister of Public Works by phone $22 million in the construction process, in the rehabilitation process of major highways. And I thought he allowed politics to be applied his reasoning to understand where he wants to satisfy its incipient quest of bringing a government down. Jefferson Chesson understands very well that every contract, every every rule project is guided by a contract. But in the contract, the payment terms are clearly stated. So when a contract begins, a certain percentage of that particular money being charged for the contract will be paid to the contractor. And when the contractor shall have achieved a certain level of progress before payments are made, and the payments are not just made, there is a process of verification. Engineers on the Ministry of Public Works go to verify the contractor's claim of making progress after the contract document. And once the process is verified, a report will be submitted, reviewed, and okayed before payment requests are made. Jefferson Chesson knows that. Other times, he's allowing his professionalism to be swept away and bringing his personal feeling into the discourse when he served as assistant minister of the Ministry of Public Works, and this was the normal road contract.
Okay. Okay, thanks so kindly, Ben. We'll go over to Gabriel Nyekan. Because of time, we don't have enough time. I have to go back to the guest. Gabriel Nyekan, I'll give you the same 1 minute 40 seconds that I gave him. It starts now. You can go ahead, sir.
No, thank you so much. I really need more time of matter of fact. Now, simply ask Benjamin, why did his boss apologize publicly at a Senate hearing? Why? Maybe the next time he calls you, you'll ask him that. But let me just say this, Jefferson. You know, it's a waste of our time to have one deputy minister of information who's a consummate liar. The records show that he's the only person who's in history suspended for lying on his bosses at the Senate. It's on the strength of his consummate lying ability, his ability to falsify information, to smear people's character, that he was given this job. How can he be credible enough to say anything? In the studio, there is a complete mismatch of both intellectualism and knowledgeability as to the issues at stake. The Unity Party will do better to find somebody else. You can mash Lobbo and Jefferson Chesson. Trust me. And that's the reason why nobody is struggling. He can't say anything substantive, absolutely nothing evidentiary. He's running around the place, doing on nothing at all. And Jefferson has gotten choked intellectually by the truth, and he cannot escape. The Unity Party has to do something better.
Okay.
I just want to say to you that they are treading on complete falsehood, deceit, and deception. That's what I want to say.
Thanks so kindly, Gabriel. You can't work within the 1 minute 40 seconds. Now we'll go back to them, but before that, sorry folks, all the lines are blinking. The interest is high, but the time is out. I need to give them 2 minutes to respond, and then we will call it a day. I'm really sorry. International, local, everywhere is ringing. Let me do some justice to those who have sent in some messages. I'm sorry, the calls will not continue coming. Let me appreciate the fellows in studio for this civil engagement, given the survey that was done by the Chinese. I think President Boakai should have used the data gathered from that survey to persuade the Americans to come and invest instead of asking them to come and do another survey. When you are asking someone to help you, you ought to be specific. Know what you want. Ernest barely sends in that one. What do you expect from seditions who are still feeling the pain of defeat? JMB will give them pressure. Samuel G. Few of Painesville. I think Brother Lobbo has the upper hand in this debate. The gentleman is pushing a salient point. Christopher Bala sends that. Thanks so kindly, Judah, for bringing these two gentlemen, but I think the former minister has come with a lot of sentiments. However, I can understand that Minister Chesson is missing the luxurious life that he lived at the expense of the suffering masses. This debate is a mismatch, and the TikTok star in Jefferson Chesson doesn't have what it takes to debate George Lobbo. Okay, those are some of the messages that have come in. We gave you 2 minutes each to respond. So, Josh, you can.
You're starting the time.
Oh no, yeah. Let me reset. You can go ahead.
You know, Judas, I want to thank the callers, those who agree and disagree with us. Everybody's opinion must be respected. What saddens me is to see former Minister Mamasi Kaba, who is a regular caller on talk shows. Mamasi, here's my recommendation to you. Sometimes when you call for people to find you credible, you should at least state some of the policy reform you instituted when you were at the ministry of gender. Instead of just calling and yelling all the time, do those type of things, then people find you credible. But it is laughable that all the time you stay at gender, there was nothing accomplished there. What I say was achieved by you. So I would recommend that you do that next time so we can find you to be a serious government official. And moving forward, I would say this to my friends on the other side. I completely understand, again, like I said, the views you express, we respect them. We have an obligation to the Liberian people. Our promise to you people was that give us state power that will transform your lives. Are we where we want to be? Absolutely not. Have we solved all the problems? No. This is why we'll continue to demand and ask and hold all of our government ministers, directors accountable. We'll continue to push. It's funny when I hear people from the CDC talking about President Boakai don't act. During the CDC, when investigations were concluded, as a way of killing them, former President Weah will order re-investigation. Even when investigations provided indictments, the records are there. Like I said, we'll put it behind us. It is clear the CDC didn't have what it takes to move this country forward. And we are glad that the Liberian people listen to us. We made a case both in this studio and in many other studios, and today we are doing what we're elected to do. And I want to thank the Ministry of Public Works. Since Minister Chesson left from there, you can tell people respecting public works now. Everywhere the Ministry of Public Works go, people are happy. They are respecting them. They've seen the work they are doing. So again, I just want to say we'll continue to do our work, my brothers and sisters. That's what we promise you, and we'll deliver up to those promises.
Okay, Jeff, your 2 minutes. Start now to respond.
Thank you, Julius. My man Lobbo is a funny guy. But anyway, no, listen. I will respond to certain people. I will not respond to those tiny Unity Party people. I will respond to somebody like Daniel Sano. Let me tell you, Daniel Sano talked about the image of Liberia has been improved. How? Where in the world? Which country would disrespect the Supreme Court ruling? Which country will remove people by law that was in tenure position? Look, Daniel Sano is a functional illiterate. He does not have the capacity to even communicate government policy. He's a functional illiterate. And so that's why you see he just go around the place and just talk rubbish. And we will not accept this. Daniel, you people has damaged the image of Liberia internationally. No country in the world will disrespect their own laws like the way the Unity Party is doing. And look, people talk about what they see. Look, listen, the Unity Party in our first 6 months, when the president, we had traveled to the UNGA with the UN General Assembly, they protested. The Fadiga brother, including you, John Lobbo, you were there. You protested against George Weah in America at the
Is that true?
It is.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
yes.
Okay, good.
They did not give a government good to 6 months in office and started protesting. They came by June 7, they started protesting. Look, this is how reckless the Unity Party government was. But this opposition, we've protected the peace, but the people are pushed to the brink. They will respond. They will rise up. The protest is genuine, and this is why the Unity Party is afraid that the people cause to protest is genuine. It's legitimate. That's why you see even the Ministry of Justice could not have denied them the permit to protest. And they will protect the protesters. We're calling them to come out and protest against all the terrible bad governance of this Unity Party government.
Thanks so kindly. Your time is out. And clearly, those were your party statements as well. Nobody will interrupt. They are free. Thanks so kindly, folks. We welcome. We will welcome your honest critiques and recommendations. The both of them are shaking hands. I actually cleverly did that, so nobody will interrupt their friend. That's how we go. My name is Julius J. We had George Lobbo of the United Party.